2 minutes, a little bit about what you want to accomplish, your goals for the next 4 days.
When I started making this film, I didn't know the potential it would have as being part of a larger discussion about education. I thought I was just making a cool movie about kids playing chess. And then as we started making it, it became more than that. So, you know, really the momentum that it's taken and landing here right today makes me really excited.
I want to go beyond the discussion about impact, because for us, it's not just about impact, it's really about figuring out how do we change behavior, how do we change the individual, because we're losing generations in the process. So I really want to also have the opportunity to have that space as individuals, or as our film, how do we measure, how do we make sure that there is change?
This really is an opportunity for those of us who are makers of films that are ed theme based. I think we would be sorely punished by the universe if we don't come out of this 4-day event, besides helping our own outreach and engagement projects, with some sense of how to create an ongoing collaboration, not just for the 7 ed films here, but for the large uber genre of films that are ed themed.
What we asked everybody to do is to bring an object of significance that has something to do with a great teachable moment. And we're saying object sort of in the biggest sense of the word. So if it's a story and you want to offer it, that's fine too. So no judgment on your object.
My theater teacher took me when I was in 10th grade to New York, and I still have those playbills from Pippin and Streamers, and went to Al Pacino a couple nights ago on Merchant of Venice, and I was going to bring something else, but I looked down at this and I realized that the whole film is about lifelong learning through the arts, and I think I'm learning now more than ever. So I'm still more excited about being in the room with Roland than I think I am about everything else. So it's about lifelong learning through the arts.
All right. Okay, I'm gonna go up. Lifelong learning from the arts. This is a picture of my 6-year-old and her little art project that she just started, that she asked me if I wanted to take with me when I went. And it just totally struck me as this is why we do this. It's for the kids, and I think it's fabulous that I'm able to send my child to an art class. It's not in school. I have to pay for it separate. And it makes me so sad that not every child gets this. And I feel like I look at what it does for her, and then I think of the kids who probably need it more. And I just think every kid should have the opportunity to hold up their artwork and be so proud of it.
There's this project in South Africa called the Keiskamma Art Project. And it's this idea of, everyone being able to create art and everyone having access to being able to tell stories through their art. And Keiskamma is in this tiny little village called Hamburg in the Eastern Cape. And it's been totally ravaged by AIDS, and there's basically been an entire generation wiped out. So you've got grandmothers looking after the kids, and it's incredibly poor. But they started this amazing embroidery project, and it's just completely brought the whole community together. And what they ended up doing is doing this sort of like Bayeux tapestry, but for their area. The cows are kind of central to it, which ended up being the length of a football pitch, and now hangs in the South African Parliament. So this amazing local community came together and made this really, you have to look at it. It's absolutely beautiful.
And that's all embroidery?
It's all embroidered, the whole thing. They ended up expanding it into this democracy project, which is all about Mandela and schooling and water coming to the... And then they ended up doing this altar project where they created these beautiful altar pieces which have been traveling around, all about what's happened to their communities. And this is like a grandmother with the children she now looks after. But it's always really inspired me going there, because it's so much about what you can do with art and what you can do with storytelling, and how the local can then become more than the local, because this is a story that's now been told throughout South Africa, and it's actually inspired a lot of other communities to do similar work. So Keiskamma is my thing.
We will have time for each of you to drill down with the filmmakers at the tables. And for those of you that aren't going to be sitting with those specific filmmakers, you'll be able to find them during lunch. could wander through the building together. So there's plenty of time, and then we're going to have networking time afterwards and a debrief. So there's lots of time to talk to everybody. But this is just a moment to sort of capture this feeling. And one more time, round of applause.
I'm Maureen Costello. I'm the Director of Teaching Tolerance, which is a project of the Southern Poverty Law Center. We are very much involved in issues of equity and how to change education in order to make opportunities available to everybody. And of course, we all see that that is not the case. Couple of points. One, what I loved about these films is how positive they were. They show, in fact, that overwhelmingly, these schools, at least many of them, are working. And I think that's really important because it counters what has become the conventional wisdom, which is that our schools do not work. That's really an important message to get out.
I want to say thank you because the work specifically that I do in our association is really about ensuring that each child in each of our communities, in each school within those communities, is healthy, safe, engaged, supported, and challenged. And we really think the most important words in those phrases are each and. And what I value so much about the work that you did is, living in DC, everybody talks about the elevator speech. Well, you gave us elevator films. You gave us the stories that I think we as education associations and as community organizations can use to make your very films obsolete. I think it's rather unique that filmmakers are saying, we want to not have to make this film again, and that we collectively are locking in this conspiracy to make it happen. So thank you for creating language that gets beyond the teacher speak that we use, that no one in the regular public understands, kind of like lawyers speak, and telling the stories in ways that we can reach that 75% of the population who don't have kids in school. So thank you.